attempting to touch the screen itself, and for a moment, nothing happens until I move my hand when the screen seems to stick to it, swinging with my hand. It's almost like a window in a touch screen, which makes no sense, since this is the real world and there's no tablet. Now that I'm concentrating, I can even feel how the screen has a slight tactile sensation to it, like touching plastic wrap stretched too tight, except with the added tingle of static electricity. I stare at my hand and the window, and then flick it away, watching the window shrink. This makes no sense. Just yesterday, I had hiked up the King's Throne peak with all my gear to overlook the lake. Early April in the Yukon means that the peak itself was still covered with snow, but I'd packed for that, though the final couple of kilometers had been tougher than I had expected. Still, being out and about at least cleared my mind of the dismal state of my life after moving to Whitehorse. No job, barely enough money to pay next month's rent, and having just broken up with my girlfriend, leaving on a Tuesday in my junker of a car was just what the doctor ordered. As bad as my life had been, I'm pretty sure I wasn't even close to breaking down, at least not enough to see things. I shut my eyes, forcing them to stay shut for a count of 3 before I open them again. The blue box stays, taunting me with its reality. I can feel my breathing shorten, my thoughts splitting in 1,000 different directions as I try to make sense of what's happening. Stop. I force my eyes close again, and old training, old habits come into play. I bottle up the feelings of panic that encroach on my mind, force my scattered thoughts to stop swirling and compartmentalize my feelings. This is not the time or place for all this. I shove it all into a box and close the lid, pushing my emotions down until there is a comforting, familiar numbness. A therapist once said my emotional detachment is a learned self-defense mechanism, one that was useful during my youth, but somewhat unnecessary now that I am an adult with more control over my surroundings. My girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, just called me an emotionless dick. I've been taught better coping mechanisms, but when push comes to shove, I go with what works. If there's an environment which I can't control, I'm going to call floating blue boxes in the real world one of them. Calmer now, I open my eyes and reread the information. First rule, what is. No more arguing or screaming or worrying about why or how or if I'm insane. What is. So, I have perks, and there's a system providing the perks and assigning levels. There's also going to be dungeons and monsters. I'm in a frigging MMO without a damn manual, it looks like, which means that at least some of my misspent youth is going to be useful. I wonder what my dad would say. I push the familiar flash of anger down at the thought of him, focusing instead on my current problems. My first requirement is information, or better yet, a guide. I'm working on instinct here, going by what feels right rather than what I think is right, since the thinking part of me is busy putting its fingers in its ears and going, na 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 na. Status? I query, and a new screen blooms. Status screen. Name, John Lee. Class, none. Race, human, male. Level, 0. Titles, none. Health, 100. Stamina, 100. Mana, 100. Status, twisted ankle, minus 5% movement speed. Tendinitis, minus 10% manual agility. Attributes, strength, 11. Agility, 10. Constitution, 11. Perception, 14. Intelligence, 16. Willpower, 18. Charisma, 8. Luck, 7. Skills, none. Class skills, none. Spells, none. Unassigned attributes, 1 small, 1 medium, 1 large, 1 greater perk. Would you like to assign these attributes, yes or no? The second window pops up almost immediately on top of the first. I want more time to look over my status, but the information seems mostly self-explanatory, and it's better to get this over with. It's not as if I have a lot of time. Almost as soon as I think that, the Y depresses and a giant list of perks flashes up. Oh, I do not have time for this. I definitely don't have time to get stuck in character creation. Being stuck in a zone that is way out of my level when the system initializes is a one-way ticket to Chowville. The giant list